Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 39 for January 27th, 2021. And I am Nemesis, joined by Alca7raz.
Hey.
Yes, second episode of 2021, and things have changed in the world a little bit.
Things have changed a little bit. Hopefully they'll continue to change for the better.
Yeah, new president. In the anime world, yes, of course, the Winter 2021 season is going on, and that's what we're here to talk about. Although, what was it? Something particular.
Same here. It's like,
oh,
there
was a season 2 trailer for My Next Life as a Villainess.
Right.
It's coming out in July, I believe. So, looking forward to that. That's the thing.
Yep.
Apparently, possibly Love Live Superstar might be premiering later this year as well.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's what I can think of right now.
Yeah. Probably thinking more as soon as we stop recording.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, Winter 2021 anime have been airing, and we once again watched 4 of them. Well, the first 3 episodes of 4 of them.
Yes. Some of which that was all that was available.
Yeah, because we are cutting this close because of timing.
Yes.
So once again, 4 random, picked at random, and watched the first 3 episodes, regardless of how we feel about it.
Thankfully, we didn't have to watch certain ones we were dreading.
Yep, there's a couple that was like, oh no, please not this one.
Please no.
And once again, they're usually, as usual, they're 4 brand new ones, not sequels or continuations or any of that. No weird long-running franchise stuff.
Yep, we don't want to get involved with... We don't have enough time to get involved.
Yeah, I don't want to go back. I have to watch an old anime from the 90s that's like 200 episodes long to get context for this one. Or something like that.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. So, 4 of them, and we'll go ahead and start with, I guess, the first one we pulled up was Skate Leading Stars. There are 2 skating anime in this season on completely different kinds of skating. One was about skateboarding. That was the one I was hoping for. We did not get that one.
We did not get that one.
We got the figure skating one instead. Or particularly skate leading, a variant of figure skating. Basically team figure skating.
Yep. Instead of the solo or sometimes dual acts.
Yep. Yeah, so more or less it's about Kenzie Mashima, right? That's what it starts off with. As a kid, he's doing his figure skating thing, and apparently there's a little bit of backstory about how he lost his parents, who were also his coaches, in a car accident, whatnot, and he's competing mostly against Ryo Shinozaki, who is more or less his rival, which, well, in this anime, I'm not sure of what that mean, but it could mean anything, considering.
Could mean, anything. Although so far we just know he's a dick.
Yeah.
Kind of a dick.
Ryo comes across as kind of a jerk, that's for sure.
He's a dick.
The Ryo there is pretty much unbeatable in figure skating and whatnot, and including Kenzie, even though he's also really good at it, still comes, pretty much second. And apparently he even made a bet of like, I will stop figure skating if you beat me. And I guess, that's that, because then we jumped to high school. And I guess he kept his word because he hasn't been figure skating at all, though he clearly still wants to. Yeah, so we get into the whole thing where now it's like this guy shows up. Basically some guy shows up and starts prodding at Kenzie, and his name was Hayato Sasuge. And turns out he's also the younger half-brother of Ryo.
Yep.
But anyway, he wants revenge on his brother because reasons.
It's a whole, he always, looks down upon me, and I want to get
He's a jerk, and I hate him. He needs to be brought down a peg.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, so he convinces him to go for this whole skate leading thing, which is a team figure skating, which is 5-member team and 3 positions of lead, point getter. Yeah, who's a point getter? Does the jump combos, and I guess jump combos.
Mm-hmm. Jump combos.
And there's the wing, who they're the ones who get lifted and whatnot by other people on the team, and the guard, who's the support and usually the one doing the lifting and whatnot to the wing.
Yep.
Each team uses at least 1 person position according to official rules, and there's an automatic scoring system using 15 cameras. It sounds kind of vaguely like crap, honestly. That doesn't sound real. This automatic scoring system.
Yeah.
It just sounds like...
They don't talk... In the first 3 episodes, they only mention it once, and you never hear about it again. So it's one of those, we want to do this, but we have to make it realistic, so let's just quickly throw this in here and never mention it again.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with judges' deliberation. It's just an automatic scoring system.
Yep.
Shut up. Anyway, Hayato shows up and says, oh, he can't do the skating thing anymore himself because he totally has a bum ankle, which apparently he kind of lied about.
Apparently.
And Kensei's a little rusty, but he goes ahead and joins in. But then the skate leading club doesn't actually want him.
Because Kensei's also really kind of...
He's got a bit of an
himself.
ego. He's got a bit of an ego.
Yeah.
Any which way, also weirdly enough, the coach seems to barely care at times.
But apparently the coach also has some history.
Yeah.
Apparently he's is also a skater, but is like taking a break.
Yeah, because he
due to, like, an injury.
Injury himself. Yeah. But yeah, Kensei, the other thing, Kensei very headstrong and also very arrogant.
He's cocky.
Yep. He thinks he's the cool guy who can, basically lead the team single-handedly to victory. And it's like everyone else, like, dude, shut up.
Yep.
Speaking of everyone else, Shotaro Terauchi, who's a third year in guard and also the captain of the team. Itsuki Kiriyama, who's third year, lead and vice captain. Akamitsu Mochizuki, who's second year in wing. Sota's Jonouchi, who's second year in guard. Izumi Himikawa, first year, lead, team ace. Tomoyuki Kubota, and first year, on reserve. And Yukimitsu Mochizuki, third year and manager, retired because of an injury in middle school.
Yep.
And Hayato wants to be coach, but he apparently is just also going to be a manager for a while, which usually just means water boy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And they didn't have a competition to see if Kensei and Hayato stay on the team because, surprise, a lot of them don't want it, and him there, and because he's an arrogant jerk. And
so they set up a competition to see if he can join or not.
Yeah, and he still loses. But it's a weird thing. It's like I'm noticing this. He keeps losing, but somehow getting what he wants anyway throughout the first 3 episodes. It's like,
because it's like when he loses, he barely loses.
Yeah, but still, it's like the terms where you lose, you quit the team. Or actually, I think the terms actually work straight up. Quit the school.
Quit the school.
Then it turns out actually Hayato had a whole plan. There's actually hadn't enrolled yet, so technically
he would have had to drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hayato. Yeah, Hayato is a very interesting character. He's one of those conniving. He's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
He's observant. He's a bit stuck up, like a lot of characters tend to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing, but yeah, he sees things and he's a data gatherer.
Yep,
kind of a person.
He comes with
computer with tons of screens and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Kensei keeps pushing himself despite the fact sometimes he, falls short, but he keeps pushing anyway. And then he has his teammates there, and that team are like, they're complaining like, hey, whoa, what you're doing? You're going off, you're gone off the routine.
Yep, or pushing it too far.
Stop it! I can barely keep up.
Yep.
Yeah, the team ace there, Izumi. Apparently, he came from the reason people don't notice how good he is because his school was actually pretty mediocre, other than him.
Yep. So he got kind of drugged down, sort of.
Yeah, he got overlooked, and then people are like, "Oh crap!" This team school's like, "Oh crap!" He's actually good.
He's really good.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ryo's still also good. The other thing, Ryo is a figure skater now. He's also joined team figure skating thing because he's like he's bored. I want to do something else.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a thing. We've seen the other teams now. Yeah, it's weird. I think that was part of the thing was that even though he lost, and it seems like the reason why he got to stay on the team was because they noticed all these other schools were like, oh crap, we need to really step up our game.
Yeah, it's like he lost, but he only lost because he started going, really advanced stuff. He's got the skill.
Yeah,
that's one of the. It's a character thing I've seen a lot where they're jerks. No one likes him, but they all have to go like he's really good.
He's really good, so we need to tolerate his
really
garbage.
Good. So yeah, he's a jerk and full of himself, but he's got the skills to somewhat back it up, and everyone hates that because, yeah,
wish you could take him down a peg or 2 or 7.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trope I do see. Character type I see a fair amount.
Yeah. Also, that's funny. I was after I finished watching the 3 episodes, I was kind of Googling something real quick just to double check. And, so I was Googling it. And one of the, or I guess related results is Skate Leading Stars a boys love anime? I'm like watching it. There's a good chance, there's a chance that there's some sort of romance thing going to happen here. I don't know for sure though, because only 3 episodes in.
Only 3 episodes in, but yeah.
I mean, the setups are there.
Yes, the setups are definitely there.
Multiple, in fact.
Yes, there could definitely be multiple going on there.
I don't know exactly which direction they're gonna go or what, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing is it's figure skating.
Skate leading.
Yeah, well, it's again, they say that that's team figure skating, so I'm still right.
Yep.
It's the thing is about it. It's like I'm watching it. It's like there's nothing really wrong with it, but I'm just not feeling I'm not feeling compelled to watch anymore. Honestly,
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah. It's like
there's literally nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything wrong with it, but I wasn't
I'm just like, oh,
super attached to it either. It's like,
don't
okay,
care.
it might be interesting, but I'm just not all that interested.
so I don't know, potential. If you like to ship boys, I guess, together and whatnot, you might like it. I don't know.
Like it.
If you like figure skating, you might like it, but I just personally was not really enthralled by it at all. I'm just kind of like, yep, okay, that was a thing.
That was a thing. I didn't feel like it was a waste of my time, but I don't feel like going back and watching more.
Pretty much. It's like, yeah. Again, on technical level and everything, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing offensive. There's nothing wrong. It's just kind of, it's just not my thing.
It's decently made. It everything seems to be in place where it should be. It perfectly fine. I just don't care.
Yeah. I just don't care. It's just one of those things. Like sometimes you get that thing. It's like it's something that's about something you have no interest in, but it draws you anyway. Like Euro Camp,
right?
No interest in camping, but I got drawn in anyway.
Yeah, because the characters are really interesting.
Here,
the characters. I mean,
they're fine, but
they don't really.
I think possibly one of the problems is simply a lot of characters.
There is a lot of characters. It's like, okay, 3 main, quote-unquote, main characters, and the rest of them are supposed to be supporting, but the delineation between main and supporting seems to be real thin.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of main characters, just like, look at Love Live. We have 10 of them.
Love Live seems to pull it off.
Yeah. It just didn't draw me in as much as I expected.
Nothing wrong with it.
It's just probably just style and the things that are going on just don't particularly interest me.
Yep.
If you are, it's probably going to be pretty good. So it's just not for me.
Yeah, pretty much that. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on then to the other one, the next one, which is Heaven's Design Team. Yeah. So who's ready to do some light blasphemy?
It is really light blasphemy.
Because the whole thing is God creates the universe, gets bored, and sells someone else to finish making the animals.
Yeah, he outsources it to a group of angels.
Yeah, which is like
angels.
Boy, shows this to a devout Christian and watch the fireworks.
It's like, it sounds familiar. What if it's something like, God builds everything, but then decides everything should be put in a big file cabinet. Wait.
Anyway, yeah, so there's an animal creation department. At least this is the one we're focused on. Apparently there's other creation departments possibly.
Well, even other animals too.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Like the insects were a separate group.
Kind of.
From this.
They seem to be part of the same department, just not the main
right,
character, so who cares?
Yes, multiple groups within... Yeah, it's weird.
But anyway, we're introduced to Shimoda, who is the liaison between the team and God. He's an angel. Ueda, who's also a liaison.
Why do we need 2?
Because shut up.
Shut up, it's God.
And then you got the actual creation team, Chief Tsuchiya, who likes horses because, well, that was his masterpiece, was the horse.
The horse.
But now he keeps trying to integrate horses into everything else. What
I made one thing good, so now everything has to be built off of that.
Yep.
This is not an uncommon thing.
Yep. Then you got Mitsushima, who's kind of an outside the box type of person. He created the snake.
The snake.
Yeah, and other things, including we'll get to his little secret shame in a little bit. That Mado, who's she kind of likes the creepier and the more horrifying animals because she thinks that's cute.
Yeah, her understanding of cute is a little different than everyone else's.
Just a little bit.
It's the cute girl who... that's another common trope.
Yep. Cute girl who's into the weird
things.
Yeah, she creates stuff like poisonous frogs and whatnot.
Yep.
You got Inubara. He's a big guy. But he also has a little plush rabbit.
Soft.
Yep, big guy, soft. Actually likes actual cute things.
Yep, he's a big soft teddy bear.
Yep. And let's see. And of course you got Kimura. Kimura, who's he wears green, likes eating apparently.
But he's the 4 person.
Yeah, likes eating things. Kanamori, she's obsessed with beauty. Very much obsessed with it.
Yep.
Loves beautiful things. Then you got their engineer who actually makes these things work, Higuchi.
The best one.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the one who actually tries to make it all work. And sometimes it's like, yeah, that doesn't work because look at it. It's dead.
It's
already.
Dead.
In 5 seconds.
Stop. It's already dead.
Yeah, it's because she's the one in charge of the prototype lab and whatnot. And, so it's like, we make a design. And it's dead because of heat stroke or it can't support its own weight or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing about this, it's kind of one of those somewhat educational anime. So it's like, it's got these little sections where they actually go into actual facts about the animals and whatnot, including, yeah, that sounds ridiculous. No, that's real. That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, the way it's structured, every episode is basically split into 2 halves, and at the end of
3 halves.
3 halves.
3 parts.
150%. Yeah, it's split into sections. So we'll just say sections. Split into sections. At the end of each section, they do that little educational bit.
Mm-hmm.
Guide to actual animals.
But the animal is
usually
designed.
Yeah, and usually the section that you watch beforehand will kind of like lead up to the animal that they'll talk about or similar animal. So it really does give this whole educational thing. It almost felt like something you would show to elementary schoolers or something, like
a little bit
a child's TV show. Kind of feels like that.
Same kind of vibe actually I got from Kimono Friends a little bit ago, which I want to do eventually, but there's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is they use the Galapagos Island as a test ground.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yep. It's either that or Australia.
Yeah, so it's just basically just them designing animals.
Yep.
And whatnot. There's also like the insect department, which is like a bunch of identical guys who apparently all have a thing for Kanamori, or not Kanamori, what was it? Ueda. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Ueda, is it? Yeah, because she's a typical pretty girl.
Yep.
Eyes always closed. The Ara.
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 Yep. And the insect department guys are your like stereotypical nerd.
Yep. The programmers.
The pretty girl. Yeah, basically.
Turn down the music, you bass heads.
Oh man, that reminded me of. You just reminded me of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh.
Yelling at the person who's building Hades, turn down the death metal. It's like, you expect me to write this software and not listen to this?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I really liked that they did with the characters, with Higuchi and the engineer, that they really play up the whole designers versus engineers dynamic and how they basically hate each other.
It doesn't work.
How the engineering department is just, you expect me to what? No.
Like, yeah, because you got Tsuchiya who tries to create a Pegasus, and yeah, that don't work.
Yeah, no.
Guess what? And then they show like, is this thing? You look at it. Look at this thing. This thing would be buff as hell.
Yeah, in order to have the strength to actually use those wings, that's just not gonna work.
Also fragile because they have to have hollow bones.
Yep. And then later the unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn. Oh, it died.
Look, it died from osteoporosis. Because of all the calcium had to go to the horn.
Yep.
Well, if we make it hollow and...
Snap.
Oh, it took too much energy. Okay, we'll make it stupid.
Man, yeah, it's like, wow, he really, really wants this design to pass.
Yeah.
And then it's too stupid to exist.
Too stupid to live.
Because, yeah, they duel with the horn. No, don't do that. Snap. Die.
Oh, and then dies. Yeah, it's got a lot of little funny bits here and there.
Another thing was, yeah, he tried to then make a Kelpie, and that didn't work. And then he modified it, and now we got a seahorse.
Got a seahorse, and that was approved.
Yep.
The approval process is kind of weird. Sometimes it goes for like, sometimes it goes to like an official submission, and it gets approved later. Sometimes it's just suddenly one of the liaisons just gets a message from God. It's approved.
God has spoken. There's a couple times that actually they're kind of there's a couple times they're actually complaining about their client.
Their client. That was another dynamic that I love them seeing. The whole clients from hell.
Yep.
which is funny if
Well,
it's God.
Also, there's Kenta,
Kenta.
who's Suchi's grandchild.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and he designed a thing.
A thing.
And they had to deal with that. Like, why did you approve that?
I felt like it.
The vibe.
30-meter tall monster. It's actually a real thing, except it's not 30 meters.
It's like 30 centimeters. And it's like,
no,
nope,
because it started out as 30. Nope. And the kid's like, no, it's supposed to be. No, shut up.
Not 30 meters. Okay. And also they had to try to figure out a monster to try to get it. It's like, oh, it wound up being an elephant in the end because they had to keep modifying because it kept dying.
Kept dying.
Just, let's make a giant gorilla. Oh, it died. Add a little fin to it to go for heat. That still died. Okay, remove the hair. What the heck is this? And that spikes, and then eventually
landed on the elephant.
Yep. Yeah, I also like how they do touch on mythological creatures as well. Again, unicorns, Pegasus, Kelpie,
dragon.
Yep. Mizushima's secret shame. I thought it was cool.
Thought it was cool. It wasn't.
Okay, still kind of cool.
It is still. It is.
It's a dragon.
Yep. Like, I think one of my favorite parts, the armadillo.
Oh, yep.
When they introduce you, dealing with the armadillo, and it comes through and just all of a sudden just shows up and crushes what's his face.
Yep.
Shows up and crushes him, instant approval.
Yep.
Just smash. Oh, it's approved. It's like, really, God? Really?
Also, yeah, when Mado and Ubara had a little fight trying to outdesign each other.
And we ended up with this, and that's how we have giant squids.
Yeah, giant squids and sperm whale.
Started out as a fight between the squids and the dolphins.
Yep. And then it just kept going.
And just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Or Mado designing something that's sounding horrifying. It's a koala. What?
It's a koala. Yep. And then when you really think about the koala, it's like, how does this even work? This animal literally eats non-nutritionist poison leaves.
Yep.
Only.
It's so weird. Yeah, this is what they describe it. It's like, what the hell is this thing? And then it's a koala. What do you mean that's a koala?
It's a koala.
Yeah, oh yeah, koalas are scary little things.
Drop bears.
Yeah. The other thing at one point they accidentally made Cthulhu.
Oh yes, they accidentally. Yep.
It's like, oh, I get it.
Combine all of their designs together. Oh no.
That's Cthulhu.
That's literally Cthulhu.
Yeah, because it was like he had his little 5-horse toys that combine into a mecha like Sentai, and then
let's make an animal that combines. Oh no!
And then the kids all horrified. That was awesome.
It was.
Yeah. The one thing I want to also bring up, which is a little bit of an unfortunate, I think a bit of a black mark on this anime, Kanamori. I found this out. Actually, Anime Feminist of all places, because they have their little they do one episode, reviews one episode in, and one of the person reviewing was also was a fan of the manga, and one of the things is Kanamori is canonically a trans woman. But the people making this decided to have her be voiced by a cis man. Yeah. And there are trans female voice actresses in Japan.
Yep.
So there is no excuse here. And the big problem here also is this also has the effect of possibly making Kanamori kind of be a joke.
Yeah.
And the worry is that not knowing anything behind the scenes, it could be accidental, or it could be very much an intentional, malicious joke.
Yep.
And we don't know. It depends on how much, like, for example, how much of the control the original manga author has over it. Because sometimes manga author has a lot of control over the anime, and other times they have pretty much all their control is literally, well, you signed over the rights, and that's it.
Yep. All depends on the contract.
So I have no idea, and that's really unfortunate. That that's how it plays out. That's a bit of a black mark there. That they decided to go that direction.
Yeah.
So other than that, though, it's very much solid, and I actually enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how I wanted to feel about it. I was laughing a lot during it because there's a lot of funny parts, but It's not bad. I didn't think again. I didn't think I wasted my time on it, but it grabbed me more than Skate Leading Stars did, but not as much as I was kind of hoping and wanting.
I'm probably just gonna keep up with this because it's fun. It's just fun to watch. There's nothing. Yeah. I just genuinely just having a fun time watching it. So it's one of those just kind of fun time for about 20 minutes or so every week. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and keep up with it.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I just don't know if I'll keep up with it or not.
So yeah, that's what that one. To move on to another one, which is the low-tier character Tomozaki-kun, or bottom-tier character Tomozaki, depending on how you want to translate it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this one. So yeah, this guy, Fumiya Tomozaki.
So he's cringe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Fumiya Tomozaki. Hold on. Let me get through this and don't jump ahead.
I'm sorry.
Fumiya Tomozaki here. Yeah, he likes a game which is basically bootleg Smash Brothers called Super Attack Families. And yeah, he's in real life he's a huge loser, but he's also like the top as they call it, tac fam player in Japan. Goes by Nanashi Online. He's number 1 in Japan.
Yep.
So that's the thing. It opens up with him playing against Shuji Nakamura, who's an all-around cool, popular guy. He is the Chad.
Yep.
Also full of salty Johns because, he loses. It's the game's fault. The game sucks. That's why. It's not me.
It's the character that I picked. That's his first excuse was, it's
no Johns though. No Johns.
Yeah, it was totally one of those moments.
Anyway, he's losing the Chad. But yeah, Tomozaki, we very quickly learned that he is this close. He's like one step away from going full-blown incel, radicalized everything. God. He's one step away. He's blaming the world, for his faults. It's the world's fault. They don't appreciate me, blah, blah, blah. I'm destined to be a loser because the world won't let me shine or whatever nonsense.
He lives in a society.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also he also briefly brings up people like Aoi Hinami, who has amazing grades and she's the best at sports and so on and so forth. She can cruise through life on easy mode because she's a top tier character. That's what he sees the game through, or the world
Everything
through.
Is a game.
As a game of sorts. Anyway, there's someone online who goes, well, no name, or Nonami if you want to do that, try that. But yeah, it's no name.
Yep.
It's the second best TAC fan player in Japan. He kind of admires and respects this person. Then eventually no name there messages, hey, you want to meet up in real life? Oh, okay. Or actually basically kind of hey, are you in this area? Yeah. You want to meet up? Sure, I guess.
Sure.
Anyway, the meetup and surprise is Aoi.
Yep.
It's her. Yep. And she's like, oh, you're Nanashi.
Well, that
not
sucks.
What I was expecting. In fact, I am actually angry about this.
I am mad.
So yeah, she's actually really rude to him, but also totally right, but also really rude about it.
How dare someone I thought I looked up to turns out to be such a
loser,
piece of crap.
You're a loser.
Yep.
But yeah, and that seems like, it basically seems like she's actually going to rescue the incel from himself, essentially.
Yep.
Because she's also secretly a nerd, though.
Oh, yeah, she totally is.
Yeah, so she basically starts, okay, I'm going to coach you through life, and it basically gives him a whole spiel about how it basically accidentally throws his own words in his face. Because, he's complaining about how, about
it's the game's
Shuji,
fault.
who's like, I hate people like that. You're not a true gamer.
God.
Because you're blaming the game. You're just blaming the game for your own shortcomings. And it's like, and she's basically, you're blaming the world for your own shortcomings. And he's like, and she's basically, you're the worst kind of gamer. Oh no, I am.
Oh no.
Anyway, she just basically helps him out by saying, we're gonna help you get your life turned around, and you're gonna stuff like you can change your wardrobe, get your posture straightened out. We're gonna help you talk to other people.
You mean character creation and leveling up?
Exactly. I'm gonna give you some goals to achieve, because you like clearing goals, right? You like clearing your objectives.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that whole thing. A verbal tick that she tries to hide because apparently it's from a game called Go Go Oinko. Yep.
It has cute animals.
So yeah, Oyo's secretly a nerd, as we said.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of the goals is he has goals going talk to 3 girls. Yeah, one Yuzu Izumi, Minami Nanami, Fuku Kikuchi. Yeah. Let's see. Hanabi, Natsubayashi. Those characters, right? A bunch of girls. I'm starting to smell harem nonsense.
Yep.
Which is especially annoying because, like, why would anyone be interested in this loser?
Yep.
But anyway, that's his goal. But he actually achieves his goal. Wow. Barely.
Barely. I was say sort
he's
of.
awkward as heck and fumbles it all, but he manages to do it.
Yep.
And yeah, he's actually getting on good terms with some of these people. Like, actually starting to hold conversations, as sometimes weird as they are. He's actually able to hold conversations and talk to these people like a normal functioning adult, or I guess teenager in this case.
I guess teenager, which I mean, functional for a teenager is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. And then also one of the long-term goals is get a girlfriend by 3rd year. Yeah. And then eventually Yoli decides for him that Fuka Kikuchi will be his girlfriend, because that's just it. Because she sees signs that she's already kind of interested in him.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically this anime seems to be about I guess, Tomozaki's self-improvement.
Yeah. Gamer girl teaches basement gamers how not to be stereotypical gamers.
Gamers rise up.
So you have a problem.
I mean,
you're a gamer.
Yeah.
I just let this Linus Tech Tips supercuts.
I mean, it's basically we live in a society.
Yeah, it's just okay, so again, this is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one for me to watch. There's a lot of really hilarious things in it, but
it's also a lot of cringe comedy.
It is so heavily based in cringe comedy. It's just like, make it stop.
It hurts.
It stop.
It hurts.
Oh, and the constant life is a game. It's all the video games.
Stop it.
Please
stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
But yeah, there is some other interesting points about Tomozaki, really, and his, like, the way he sees things and it's interesting. It makes a lot of really good points. Like I said, it is, trying to stop and fix the incel before it goes full incel.
Yeah, like I said, he's like a step away from radicalization. Like someone has to do is just say the right thing or wrong thing to him, and boom.
Yeah, he would fully go over. But sometimes the way it does it is just like, yes, that's a good point, but why did you have to say it like that?
Video games.
Yeah, it's interesting. Tomozaki, it at least in the 3rd episode, they hadn't they hadn't really brought it up yet. They may later, because it kind of seems the way they're leading. He does have certain other skills. One of them has been brought up, his ability to speak his mind.
Yep.
But one of the other ones that I've noticed that hasn't been explicitly brought up yet is he is a bit observant, more than normal, which would make sense for a good gamer, because you have to be able to observe and analyze your opponents and stuff like that. But a lot of things he says about how he starts later on. The first things he says about how the world works is just completely wrong, and that's full incel. But there are some smaller points that he makes later, especially when I always forget how to pronounce these vowels. Aoi. Starts asking about what he's learned, and he starts talking about the different group dynamics.
Yeah,
that was one that really shows that he's really observant, and it kind of goes into something that and it's kind of sucks to say, that I've even seen. Social protocols, yeah, there seems to be a certain dynamic that everyone else seems to really just pick up really quickly that doesn't come easily to everyone else. That's not because, the world just sucks. That's because you're an introvert. That's just part of it.
Oh, kind of.
That is just a thing. Yeah. Some people have it easier than others, but it doesn't mean the world don't go full incel.
Yeah, he basically, part of it is just simply he gave up trying.
Yeah.
He just gave up real quick. He just decided that it doesn't matter. There's no point in trying.
and that's not how it's supposed to work.
There is the worry of like, it's gonna go into the full blown introvert and it's bad.
Yeah, my worry is that it does kind of seem to lead into that. I'm going to teach you how to not to be an introvert and be a normal person. That's,
a little bit sometimes. Although we see that the other thing is, actually she reveals, she has to work to be, seen the way she is. The whole being popular and all that stuff. She has to work for it. This isn't, She reveals that that's not easy for her either, which I'll arguably be easy. She's also kind of introverted. She just knows how to play the game.
Yep.
There's a couple things where it's like Tomozaki there. It's like it's weird. It's like there's signs that actually deep down he is a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. Like the whole trying to get him together with Kikuchi, and he's like, this seems really insincere. It's like, yeah, it does.
Yeah. His whole thing, like he points out, like, does it seem is it a good idea for me to, just get a girlfriend even if I'm not really that interested in her?
It's like,
and she, he just railroads, no, you're gonna do it.
It's like, it
doesn't really matter. You got to
right
do it.
Here.
So that's one of my things. Is like the worry is like possibly that Aoi's whole training for him is going to start to backfire eventually when because she's just railroading that it doesn't really matter how they feel. We just need to get you more social.
Mm-hmm.
Then the worry is, it's going to become a bit of just going to backfire. Blow up in her face or something or whatever, or blow up in his face because she pushes too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. On that one, there's a whole thing with Yuzu there. Apparently, at the end of the third episode, she's kind of sitting there all looking kind of sad, and he kind of comes to talk to her. At first, she's kind of mad about it because he phrases it badly when he tries to ask her.
Yep.
And then she's like, "Hey, you play TAC-FAM, right? You're good at it, yeah? I want to learn how to play."
Yeah. End of the third episode, they introduced that, and it's. I'm a bit curious to see where it goes from that because that was a sudden new thing that appeared.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the whole idea of like someone who's just a complete loser actually becoming a better person like this because rather than giving up like he did, actually try can be interesting, but also could be handled pretty horribly depending on how they do it.
Yep.
And whatnot. Again, Aoi. It's a little worried about Aoi how she's handling things and like not really that caring that much about other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. Also, there's this other, we also see the other characters like Minami's very touchy-feely person. Also got a weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
Hanabi is kind of similar to Tomozaki in that she's also someone who just speak her mind, but not always. Sometimes she'll kind of see how the conversation is going before she says anything.
Yeah. And she'll kind of, she doesn't speak her mind as much. She tends to blend in with the crowd and go with the flow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Sometimes, but other times she will speak her mind.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Like if it's one of those if it's safe to, but if it's obvious that would cause a problem, then probably not.
Yeah.
Where Tomozaki was she's always going to speak her mind, and that tends to rub certain people the wrong way.
Well, the other thing is Fuka there is she's trying to write a novel and she sees Tomozaki reading something she's a fan of, although he's not really reading. He's just there he's always in the library pretending to read so he can work out some more new TAC-FAM strategies.
Yep.
And so now it's like that was more part of his objection to being becoming her boyfriend, I guess, was because it might be based on a lie, and and I always like that doesn't matter.
It's like, yes, it does. Her idea is like, okay, well, the introduction may have, but you might find something later on, and then you can base it off of that.
That's a big risk to take.
That's rather shaky ground there.
Yeah.
That whole thing between both of them, it's just two awkward people. It's just I don't see that going anywhere good.
Yeah,
and I'm worried that they're going to continue to try. There's also the whole thing is like, I've seen stuff like this, like they're going to end up trying to put Tomozaki and Hinami together. Watch that happen later on. We spent all this time together, and the two gamers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. It's clear. There's some. It's gonna become increasingly clear that because the other one thing she like pointed out, like this is not a dating sim.
Right. Yeah, that's an important one.
You're not just talking to them with the idea of making them your girlfriend eventually. You can talk to them with purely platonic intentions in mind.
There's also the whole. Oh yeah, that reminds me. It's like, talk to someone else to gain interest on the person you actually want to. It's like,
yeah, a little bit. Like, she knows how to play the game, but does she actually understand all the stuff behind the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, so I'm kind of interested, but I'm also a little worried about how it'll go.
Yeah, like there's enough there to make me curious, but I just
a little bit of morbid curiosity, but also kind of the genuine fear that God is going to blindside me with some really garbage thing later down the line.
Yeah.
So this is one I think I might go ahead and wait until it's all out, and then see what people say about it, and then check it out before I continue on. The other thing I'm also worried about is Tomozaki has a little sister, and sometimes the way the camera treats her, it's like don't like that. Yeah. She's like what, middle school? That's a little sketch.
There was also that one scene with Nanami and
touching butts.
Yep.
That's why I said touchy-feely.
Touchy-feely.
Oh, yeah. Aoi and actually Tomozaki. Aoi actually, groped his butt because trying to make sure his posture's correct. Yep. And she's like, what? It's just your butt. It's like,
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I'm afraid of, we're going to get some harem nonsense. And, mostly creepy weirdness. Yeah, it's still
the cringe. It's just the cringe humor.
Yeah, it's just for me. I might go ahead and check it out after I see, after it's out fully released, and I might, see how other people react to it. I might, go ahead and try to check it out if I don't hear anything too terrible about it.
Yeah,
because it got the potential of something really bad coming down the line that I'm not aware of, but also has potential of being a good.
Yep.
I just don't. This is one of those things. But the bad stuff would be so bad. I don't want to get invested in. Crap.
Yep.
That would suck.
Yeah, definitely wait for someone else who's stronger than me to go through it.
I'm not strong enough. Yeah. So that's Tomozaki-kun.
Yeah.
I guess. So the fourth and final we got is Project Scar On The Praeter no Kizu. I guess. Or how did Funimation translate that? Yeah, they call it Scar On The Praeter on Funimation. So, but yeah, that's the, I guess, translated name. Yeah. So this one is weird. Okay, so you got the Tokyo Akatsuki Special Ward. It's in Tokyo. It's completely lawless, abandoned by the state and everything. Just whatever.
Yep.
It's basically just a weird anarchy zone right smack in the middle of Tokyo.
Yeah, so it was like we're gonna section out this place and make it like a capitalist haven.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. And then
it fell apart.
Yeah, and you got Yamato Kai, who's he kind of thinks of himself as a kind of protector of sorts, and he's got a little brother named Minato. And then there's this, he looks up to Eiji Arashiba, who's the hero of Akatsuki.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's a scarred, and that thing, part of it, that means you have these tattoos that, have different powers. His protects him with a barrier right now, all that stuff, right? There's also, he can see, what was the power? He can see the movements before they happen, type thing, or something.
Something like that.
Anyway, he's part of some group called Helios, and yeah. He has a little brother, Kazuma, but the thing is, with both of them, their little brothers are not related.
Not related.
They're just basically, I'm adopting you as my little brother because we found each other. Type thing.
Yep.
And Kazuma, who has a cat Sith, I guess.
Teeth. Yeah.
They had one of those accent marks.
Yep.
But he has that thing, which I can't remember what that one did. It nullifies other powers. It's one of those.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Overpowered garbage. And then you got Kagami, who's he's a bit of a healer, I guess. Ouroboros.
Snaking its own tail.
And there's some mafia group called Dusk who keeps trying to make inroads in this place, and their crime. So of course they got to protect. These Eiji often protects the ward from these people. Then you got people from Artemis, like Ron, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I didn't write it down like an idiot.
Well, there's isn't that like Morgan?
I don't know.
No. That's a different person.
The guy with the blue hair.
Yeah, it's Jin and Ron.
That was Jin and Ron.
Jin.
Ron likes to watch anime on his phone or whatever.
No, that's Jin. Jin likes to watch anime. Right?
That's right. Was it? Was
yes.
it that way? Okay.
Yes.
Got it backwards.
Unless my anime list has got the wrong pictures up. Jin likes to watch.
Swear up and down is the other way around.
Yeah, Jin's the blonde one.
Anyway,
the blue-haired one.
Also, they follow Azusa. Apparently, is the leader of Artemis, which is actually Artemis Finance.
Yes, they're a financial organization.
A financial company.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and Age's tattoo is Cerberus. Or is it Carabarus? It's like it's Cerberus, but they pronounce it wrong. Yamato eventually has to kind of protect Age from a magic bullet. They call it the divide bullet.
Oh my god.
Or the side bullet, sorry. And that happens by mistake, and the Ag has to transfer his power over, and then he dies. Yeah, and there's also some guy shows up called Fenrir who apparently devours heroes. Right. Yeah, Yamato passes out and is then picked up by the cops who are apparently trying to get into here anyway. For some reason, it was supposed to be lawless anarchy zone. They're still trying to come in here and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're trying to take it back, so to speak.
Something like that.
I don't know.
The PSSS.
Yeah, Tatsuma Koga. He's the guy he's the cop who mostly talks to him initially, but he even does some plot dumping whatnot. And then you got Itsuki, who's Tatsuma's partner, and tattoos are apparently kind of sort of alive, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the police. He's a police captain. Tatsuma is police captain from. Okay, here's the full name: the Metropolitan Police Department Public Security Bureau, General Administration Division, Anti-Scarred Special Service, aka Public Security Special Service, aka PSSS.
Psst.
Piss.
Piss.
Piss. Piss. Are you taking the piss?
Well, they're cops, so.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so the whole thing is basically a battle anime type thing. You know, they're always constantly fighting, sometimes for no good reason. Sometimes like we even have Yamato, who he wants to fight AJ because he just wants to. He just always dreamed of it. And he got to fight him, even though he knew he was going to lose.
Yep.
And yeah, AJ respects that, and you kind of, I could see potential in your kid. That's why I gave him the tattoo in the first place.
Yep.
Or transferred it over. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a thing.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, so that's the whole thing, and of course, his little brother's upset about it. It's like, it should be Cerberus belongs to me. It's like, nah, that doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like
and
that.
Yeah, and then there's a little kid, and it's
there's
weird.
A lot of things going on at once.
Yeah. We're jumping between teams and whatnot, and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of that, the jumping between teams, it's one of the things I noticed, and there's a lot of things that we'll get to. Jump cuts and pacing seems kind of
bad,
odd. Like there was one of them that they just did this weird fade out to a jump cut when they never did it before, and it was like, where the heck? I was like, we're gonna fade out to an ad, but they only did it once in the first 3 episodes, and it was just like, what the heck? But yeah, the pacing is really odd. It's exposition heavy. Like the dialogue is just. Mm-hmm. It is constant dialogue. It is very heavy on its exposition, which isn't, strictly speaking, bad. It's not bad per se, but
yeah,
something to keep in mind. But yeah, the pacing was just.
Yeah. Also, as we touched on before, the Akatsuki Ward there was pretty much a libertarian wet dream because there's basically minimal interference from the state. Corporations have pretty much all control, and hey, surprise, what do you know? They start fighting each other, and it all falls apart. Basically BioShock, except in Tokyo.
Except in the middle of Tokyo. Yep.
Yeah, and it all falls apart, yeah. And then Japan just goes, we washed our hands of this, and we're just going to ignore that for now.
Yep. Not our problem. You brought this on yourself.
Well, but you're the ones who started the whole experiment in the first place. Nope. Wasn't our fault.
Yep.
It's like, gee. So at least they didn't glorify the libertarian wet dream.
Yep, and the other thing is they do have this big cop department, and it's pretty obvious that they're all jerks. They're all not great.
Well, gee, I wonder.
So they're accurate there.
Accurate. Yeah, because they also pretty much take Minato hostage to try to get Yamato to join up with them, I guess.
Yep.
It seems like that's going to be the whole thing. It's like, I don't know, possibly, yeah, Yamato, you should join us. No, you should join us. Join us. It's giant recruitment.
Yep. Yeah. Because the 2 cops that we saw, the detectives, are scarred, but they're part of an anti-scarred section of the cops. Yeah. And one of them, Tatsuma, is Fafnir, is his Scar.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all seem to be mystical creatures. The Phoenix and stuff like that. They all have connections to those, which is interesting.
One of them that's like, oh, it's a Phoenix. No, actually, that's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's whole. It's the other thing I would need to definitely bring up is the animation itself. It uses 2D characters on 3D backgrounds and whatnot, and it looks awful.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it
looks awful. Like, I have seen 2D CG and 2D 3D integration done way better in various ways. This is terrible. This looks like it was done on a budget. Like, the CG was just because we need to cut the budget down, and it still looks bad. And like one of the most egregious things I saw was there's a bit where they're driving a car, and you see the car drive, except it's clearly at the wrong angle for the way it's driving. It's driving at like a 20-degree angle, like straight forward. It's like, oh my god, this looks terrible. If it's CG too, so you could literally have rotated it, but you didn't.
Yeah, it's almost like they put the car in after they did the 2D parts, so they had to oh crap, we have to screw everything up to fit the non-CG. It's just
the characters look like they're just often floating over top of the background, not actually part of the scene.
Yeah, it's just not well done.
And on top of that, for battle anime, the actual battles are also pretty poorly animated.
Yeah, it's just
like they almost looking at it, watching the OP, it's like they blew all their money on the OP
and didn't have enough for the actual
and a little bit of the ED too. The ED actually has the ED has really nice music.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing. It's got very jazzy swing type thing sometimes, particularly the ED. That's one thing I'll say positive for. But yeah, other than that, honestly, I just don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah,
I might have.
Yeah.
But they picked way too many missteps.
It has an interesting plot line. Like, the story could definitely be interesting. There's something there that you can work with. Ignoring the art side of the execution isn't the worst I've seen, but it could definitely be better.
Yes.
But once you take the not as good execution as it could be, coupled with the CG, I can't.
Really budget looking CG.
It's way too distracting.
Yep, it's hard to.
And like I said, for an action anime that's obviously attempting to be an action anime, they spend a lot of their time on exposition.
Just stand around talking.
Yeah, it's just.
And then when you get to actual fight scenes, it's like, this doesn't look good.
It's kind of choppy. The angles are weird. Got weird jump cuts.
There's also sometimes it's like the camera's trying to move around all this shaky, weird camera thing, and it makes everything look even worse.
Yeah, because
then you can see the characters are not really in the scene. Yeah, they're over top the scene, and it's like, oh god, just stop.
Yeah,
just stop. It's bad looking.
Yeah,
I've seen far better 2D 3D and integration in this. Actually, one thing I forgot, I think I didn't bring it up last time with Love Live, which is Nijikasaki did a way better job than I've ever seen with Love Live with their whole CG character in 2D thing. It's way better looking to the point that sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's CG or not.
Yeah, I will say. And that was interesting because they do the opposite of what's done here.
Yep.
Because in that case, it's 2D environments with 3D characters, and this is a 3D environment with 2D characters.
Actually, this is one we didn't get to watch last season, but like the DJ anime, the D4, it was like DJing stuff. It was last season. It's done in CG, and apparently it's actually doing a really good job with that one because they actually are capable of still doing all the weird cartoony nonsense, but with CG character, which is harder to do because stretches and whatnot. Stretches and and squashes and all that stuff are a little more difficult to pull off with a CG.
You can do it, but you have to pay a lot more attention.
Yeah, but they're apparently doing a really good job there. So that's possibly an example of better done CG for anime. But this is just.
Yeah, this is just.
On top of that, none of the characters are particularly interesting for me. Anyway.
I was hoping it's like, okay, it's an interesting plot, and then the characters are just kind of bland. Honestly,
they're really just interested.
Basic characters. Nothing, not much to them. Also, one particular thing that bugged me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it was, theoretically they could have done something with it that would have made it better or fixed it, but when the cops were talking about the bullet that was used,
Yes,
they had it in a
bullet.
bag, the Decide bullet. We'll ignore weird terminology, whatever. Maybe it's just a translation issue. They had it in a bag, still in its shell.
Yep.
Unfired.
No, shut up.
It's like,
well, it's a magic bullet.
I don't care. That was an unfired round. Now the thing is, like I said, they could fix that by saying like, okay, it was a prop piece, or maybe, hey, they're the ones making it, so of course they would have another one. So I mean, you could put that in the story, but still, that just bugged me. It's like, here's the bullet. No, that's not the bullet. That's an
different
unfired
bullet.
That's
a different
unfired.
Unless the guy who killed him with the bullet literally just threw it at him.
Except we saw it fired out of the gun.
No, it's fine. Shut up. But that's the other thing was that they said something about once the magic bullet is fired, it will fire it and find its target and kill them regardless. Like, oh dang.
Yep.
Back and to the left.
Except it hit its target. It
through
hit
the
its
other
target
target
in the arm.
Yeah, but still hit him.
Yep.
That was the thing. It doesn't matter where it hits, as long as it'll hit them and it will kill them.
Yep. But if it goes through someone else first, then it won't. Then it's nullified.
It taints it.
Yep.
Except he still died.
Yeah, except he died later from other injuries that the Dusk whatever group gave him after he gave up his protection.
Yep.
So the bullet's not what did it.
Yep. Your fault died. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Oh, and then we got the whole, oh, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
Still be alive.
It's all your
if it
fault.
wasn't for
I'm
me.
angry.
It's like, no, if you weren't there, you would have just been shot directly. You'd been dead. It's not your fault.
Yep. Yeah, so this, I don't care.
It's just, I don't care at all. May have had potential in the story, but no, not enough else.
So, yep. And also on top of that, just everything, just all the it just looks bad. It's not pleasant to look at.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely skipping that.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. One thing I want to bring up actually about Tomozaki-kun real quick is I'm wondering about this, which is it feels like it's designed to train young Japanese people in the art of conversation to help with the falling birth rates. It's one of those. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds like that might be it seems like that might be the case. We got to get these kids talking to each other so they'll actually have sex and all that stuff and make babies. It's like that's kind of not the real problem here. The real problem is the fact that your work culture is toxic and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the part of the problems is your toxic work culture and whatnot, and you're a really stringent immigration policy. But whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's 4 anime, which is first one. Both of us don't care. Really, nothing bad. Don't care.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Second one. I'm pretty interested. I'm gonna keep watching it. You are kind of
okay. Yes, I'm kind of but compared to the other 3, it's still at the top of the list.
The other one, maybe down the line, because it depends on how it goes. I don't want to get blindsided, so maybe after it's all read out and whatnot. And this last one, absolutely not.
It's just no. I no.
Yeah, so I think this is actually kind of one of our weakest batch so far.
Yeah,
we've done.
It was
it was just like and like
this
one
could be better.
Yeah, one maybe bright spot, and then not that bright. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm hearing all this stuff about these other anime premiering this season, so we just got unlucky, I think.
We drew the short straw.
We just got unlucky because I'm hearing good things about other stuff. Of course, some of the stuff we couldn't actually do because, well, they're sequels or whatever. Can't really talk about those.
Yep.
Even if we are actually familiar with we can't really talk about it, even though we are familiar with it because...
for those we could always just, talk about them later. Give a whole episode to them if we want.
What do you know? Yeah, but it's just
it's
all
our
I'm hearing
show.
was that the picnic one. I'm trying to remember what the full name of that. But yeah, that one I've heard really good things about. I've heard good things about this other one. There's another one that I can't remember the name of. But yeah, I'm hearing pretty good things about the skateboarding anime.
Want to go skateboards?
Wonder Egg Priority apparently is also an amazing one. Apparently, that's what I'm hearing. And the Horimiya is also apparently good. Those are the ones I'm hearing are really good this season. But we didn't draw those.
We didn't draw those.
Oh, well.
Alas.
It is what it is. I guess that's more or less it.
Yep.
Disappointment.
Disappointed.
Too bad he's a piece of garbage too.
Yep. I'm about to say, Kevin Sorbo.
I'm disappointed in you.
I am disappointed. Like, I did not have high expectations for you, and you still didn't match them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess hopefully more than these
More
anime.
than we enjoyed the anime.
Yeah. If you want to hear past and future episodes, go to newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. If you want to check that out, subscribe to the RSS feed there. You can also find buttons for most of the other destinations for us as well. If you want to find other ways, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can search for New to Weeaboo in any of those and subscribe and whatnot. You can also find us on Amazon Podcasts, do the same exact thing. That's just not a button there.
There's just no button.
Because
you'll have to hit the buttons on your keyboard.
No! What about the
Keyboard.
power button?
How quaint.
How droll. But
press any
anyway.
key, you press the power up key. No, not power.
Press any button. Press the power button. Computer turns off. My face went. But anyway. So those are the ways you can check out our episodes. You can also contact us if you want to via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. If you have, anime suggestions or criticism or questions or any of that stuff. I think we've actually gotten one recently. I got to check that out, make sure it's not something I'm not getting trolled.
Yeah. You should watch Boku no Pico. No.
Joke's on you, I'm actually going to do it and ruin everything for all of you.
No. I have a
high tolerance for bad. I can go through especially if I know it will hurt someone else, I will go through with it.
There's like spite involved, or
yep, I will be powered by spite and
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, exactly. I can power myself through bad stuff like that. That's part of the reason why I thought about doing Icon, but also Icon's terrible. If you don't know what Icon is, that's good.
I don't, and I'd like to keep that way. I
am ashamed.
know.
I'm ashamed I even brought it up. Yeah. I'll just say that.
It's bad enough that I already know about Boku no Pico without seeing it.
So anyway, you can do that via email. You can also follow us on Twitter @newtoweeaboo if you want to follow us there and see new episodes that come out and various random observations about anime and whatnot. You can also follow our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alcatraz77T and an underscore at the end. Still doing Transformers. I finally been through a large backlog of reviews I've been meaning to do. Finally. Yep, so there's that. And you just retweet pictures.
Yeah, I lurk Twitter.
I just watch.
Always watching. Never sleeping.
Who watches The Watchmen? Anyway, so that's the end of our episode. Join us in February. We'll be talking about My Love Story, which will be fitting for February.
Yes, the month of love.
Yep. And rejection.
Singles Awareness Day.
It's the month of love, unless you're Tomozaki, in which case it's just you just play more TAC fam. Anyway, that's it. So hope you enjoy it and hope you tune in next time, and we'll see you then.
See ya.